All right, guys. Well, it's a rainy sunny night, Sunday night. Been home doing some work. Went bowling today with family and some friends. But I'm just here working on the dash components because this is gonna, I think, take some time to work on. I've been trying to take the center console and take out where the AC controls, heater controls were. There was a cigarette lighter there and ashtray there. Well, don't need either one of those, but what I'll probably end up doing is taking and putting some type of 12 volt, maybe even two of them in there, two 12 volt sources. And that, yeah, that's part there. It could be another gauge. I don't know what I'll do. But the AC unit that I'm wanting to use, they have a few different dash gauges and stuff for adjusting. So I just need to measure up and make a bracket or something to hold it. This piece right here, which is the control station for like your lights and panel and wipers and washer. I did get it stitched back together today. I still need to go back and epoxy that, dimple it, and then go back and paint it, and then come back and then re-letter everything. Those are raised, so it's pretty easy to re-letter. And I got all the old warning lights off of that. That's the warning lights that were on that for all your different oil and blinker and everything else. And went in and took the instrument cluster bezel, and fixed it up. I still got to epoxy it, but I also cut in for the correct size stereo because this still had the 8-track in it, and it's about half the size of that. But I'm just working on a few more things. I'm going to do that. I did, like I said, did do some work on this morning on my short on this dash panel. Stitched a few places on it together. And also today I did order all the metal that I needed for putting the frame back together. I ordered both passenger and driver side front floor pans. I'm just gonna go ahead and do both of them, make it easy. The company I went through, it's American Parts Depot. They actually had the inner rocker panel, which I needed to replace on that passenger side, and they also had the those rubber and cloth skirts for the inner fenders. They had those. I think I spent maybe $300 on all of it. It really wasn't much. So those will be here sometime. I don't know if they'll be this week or it might be next week. But I've still got more stuff to tear out of it and get the floors out and stuff before all that comes in anyway. But I'll just continue on. One thing I was going to talk about, and then I'll swap you all around real quick, is the center console here. I'm going to be cleaning it up. It has some mildew on it and stuff like that, which this car, as much water, I guess, as it must have had in it, it just mildewed. But the new, this is where your stalks come through for your shifting, your shift lever. The new one I was looking at was made by ShiftWorks. It's actually meant for a '69 Camaro with the same style horseshoe shifter. And I called ShiftWorks. Great people to talk to. The guy that answered the phone, he was really knowledgeable. And apparently sometime last week, some guy called him about the same thing. And mine's going to be a little bit different because I'm not using the Javelin shifter, which is just a pivot shifter that's got a rod that connects to the transmission. I'm going to that 6L80, which is going to be a cable-driven system, and that Camaro style shifter that ShiftWorks makes is meant for that that Camaro, meant for that 6L80. They've designed it for it. As far as dimensions go, it will fit in here. it's got the same spacing between and in the inner dimension, and the outer dimension for the shift stocks. I probably will have to modify, because right here on the side, this right here was actually illuminated, depending on where your shift is at. This little black plastic piece would follow the shift stock to cover up what gears you weren't in. The new one is sort of like up here on top, and so I might end up having to cut some of this right here to make it work, but I think it's going to look a lot nicer. And the handle's a lot nicer too. That shifter is kind of expensive, but I'm swapping this entire thing, so everything's kind of expensive. But we'll get to it. All the other panels I have set up here, I've got to go through and pull all the chrome trims off everything, fix all the little cracked pieces, and clean it all up and paint it. And that's going to take a long time. So I'm waiting on parts for the car so I can get the metal fixed. When the metal's fixed and the car's out for paint, that's when this can be worked on. But there again, once I get all the metal parts for the car and get all that fixed, then I've got to get that suspension in so I can go ahead and get it set up. Because I've got to, the front end's a bolt end, the rear end's there are some welded in pieces, but it's not much from what I understand. I've asked Control Freak to send me the specs on email, on file, so I can actually see what all I do have to weld in. A little loud. Anyways, waiting on Control Freak to send me those specs so I can see what I have to weld in. I have a feeling that maybe I found one. I might go get a rotisserie for the car. That way I can get it up off the ground, get the rear axle out, get the front axle out, because I still need to measure that rear axle so I can order the correct width of the Ford 9-inch. The one I was looking at was off of Speedway Motors. They actually have it to where you can order it, and like I want to say that comes in like 2-inch increments. But I think what I'm needing is a 54-inch wide rear end, and I think that's what's supposed to fit. But I've got to do some measurements real quick and actually figure it out. And so I have to order that Ford 9-inch rear diff and order that rear Control Freak suspension, which the rear is only like $2,500 for the Control Freak suspension, and then that diff is about $2,000, close to it. So there's about $4,500 just in the rear suspension, and I have to weld the bracketry to the rear diff off that suspension, and then weld some suspension components up to the body. So I'm waiting on that info. Once I get that rotisserie, get that up, get all that cleared out, because I'm going to use a needle scaler, go underneath that entire car, needle scale the entire thing, prep it with the POR15 chemicals, and then do the entire bottom of it POR15, but only after I finish welding up that rear suspension. It's gonna take a while, but in between all that, I can work on all these interior components because there's a lot of it. Talked to someone about the seats, a couple people. One person gave me around a $1,500 or so estimate for both front seats and the rear bench, which I told him, I sort of sent him pictures on what I was wanting, all black with a blue stitch. And then I still got some other things here and there. All the chrome stainless trim is going to be polished out, not shiny, maybe more like sort of like a DeLorean, how they polish the stainless on that, where it's a nice satin finish. I don't want anything on this car to be too bright because it is going to be a matte paint. And I think the paint color that I was looking at is called a Moonlight Drive Blue Metallic Matte Paint. So it's going to be matte paint, but it's going to have a matte clear on top of it. And it's really going to have a really sleek look to it. I think I've got my page picture has that AI rendering of the car, but I've actually found the paint. And then as far as on top of that car, there's like a T-stripe that comes across the hood and across the top. And I might do like a really dark, almost black, but like a really dark gray matte paint, or I can get someone to cut it out of like vinyl for me, like a vinyl decal. And it goes across that entire hood. And so looking at doing that. There again, that's in the future. That's a ways away. But I'm just constantly thinking of what I need to do to make everything work. Anyways, I think I'm going to end it off here tonight. See you guys later. Have a good night. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time.